22, Ingu Lee. Number 49, Norita. Number 51, Bruno Ryan. And starting in goal for the Mustang, number 71, Thomas Lancaster. The Mustangs are coached by Marcus Diamarno, assisted by Jay Myers, Dario Villafania, and Massimo Gardillo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your CCBC Essex Knights. Number 2, Jonathan Izagiri. Number 5, Tom Schroeder. Number 10, Ryunosuke Noda. Number 11, Angel Vargas Hernandez. Number 16, Danny Nestrick. Number 17, Zachary N. Twistle. Number 18, Diego Ventura. Number 20, Zen Shimano. Number 21, Rio Mayama. Number 33, Alvaro Acosta. And number 55, starting in goal for the Knights, Jacob Peace. The Knights are coached by Joe Fiedler, assisted by Omar Buffal, Fox Stork, and Kobe Crone. Ladies and gentlemen, here at CCBC Essex, we embody a spare sportsmanship because an important component of being a student athlete. We ask you please refrain from use of profanity, let all spectators remain positive and cheering for their favorite team.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the castle here at CCBC Essex. Aaron Thomas in the broadcast booth with you for the first time this year. Excited to be calling the action once again here at Essex, and it is going to be a great game for me back here in the broadcast booth, and it's been a great couple of games for the season, or for the Knights to start the season, I should say, as the Knights come into this contest against the Monroe Mustangs, 3-1 on the year, and with that shiny number 9 next to their name in the big rankings, this is a very, very good matchup between the Knights and the Mustangs. Historically speaking, it has been going the way of the Mustangs. Last win for the Knights is back in 2013. Last year's contest was a 3-1 down to the wire nail biter. Mustangs got the win in that. Knights looking to reverse that trend and pick up their 4th win of the year. Mustangs on the other end of the spectrum with their season 3 games in, and they are looking for their first win. The Mustangs of Monroe University come into this one 0-3 on the season, and they lost their last game 3-2 against Eastern Florida, and then another one against number 11 Daytona State 6-3, and then finally a 2-1 loss to Miami-Dade. So the Knights looking to get off the snide in their matchups against the Mustangs. Mustangs looking to just reverse this tough trend to the start of the season, as we see the action started with the Knights with possession. Mustangs quickly grabbing it, but long field in front of them as they have to go defense to offense. Finding a little bit of space on the long through ball, but the Knights are there for the first 50-50. Pinballing around through the midfield. Knights with possession, but just for a moment, as the feeling out process in the first 5 minutes well underway. Who's going to grab the first momentum? Mustangs with the long pass last on their clear attempt, this time looking for possession. Working the ball through the middle, now switching fields onto the near sideline, finding a little bit of space. Switching fields onto the far sideline after dribbling through the middle. Good individual play, and now some good team play as they slow down. Knights right there, not allowing that ball to get past them. As you see, they're cutting off the angle nicely, and that ball's played off a Mustangs player over the end line. Little bend, don't break defense here in the early 2 minutes. Knights never caught out of position, but certainly got on the back pedal there. Mustangs grab a little early momentum, but nothing to show for it, as both teams are still looking for their first shot of the game. goalkeeper this year for the Knights. Number 55, Jacob Peace, freshman from Dundalk, Maryland, by way of Calvert Hall High School. Calvert Hall College High School. Former Cardinal, switching in the red for the white, blue, and yellow of the Knights, playing under Coach Fiedler. He's had a mini goalie factory here at Essex during his tenure. As we see a first real good opportunity of the game, and it goes for the Mustangs. Corner kick. And some frustration on the turf as a Knights player is down. Take a quick break as the trainer comes out onto the field. Mustangs with the corner when we come back. Here comes the corner. Far sideline. And referee blew the whistle before the kick. Mustangs obviously celebrating the result, but you knew that was going to be a do-over. A little bit too much hand fighting, says the referee. Mustangs get more airtime on that one. No one's there. Oh, my goodness, until they weren't. Or until they were, I should say. My goodness. Perfect timing on the head ball, as that looked like it was headed towards no man land. Mustangs, Reno Ishada gets the first head on it. Did not see who got the second. 1, 2, 3. Mustangs strike for the first goal of the game. Blink and you missed it. Good strong corner. 2 head balls later, and the scoring has officially started here. Man, Monroe thought they had a really good corner on the first effort. Well, thank the referee for that second opportunity, because it was that much better. Check the live stats here to see who got the official goal. And that was Victor Ribeiro, the goal scorer for the Mustangs. Victor Ribeiro with the cleanup work after getting the head ball. And here's a one-on-one opportunity. Knights trying to cut off the angle, and what a save from Peace. The defense coming lickety-split to cut off the angle, but they never got a tackle opportunity. Peace just had to go all the way to the far bottom corner to make the save himself. 2 shots into the game, the Mustangs certainly grabbed the momentum. 1-0 on the big board, and just seconds away from getting a 2-0 start in the first 5 minutes. Knights on their heels early, but the defense flexing the muscles there. So many times you think about momentum grabbing plays, it's offense, but those big stops defensively like that can certainly grab a lot of momentum for a team. As the Knights, a little extra ball pressure now, switching fields, trying to keep it on this side. As we see momentum potentially turning in front of us. Knights with possession on the far sideline, looking for space. Finding none of it, as that's a solid tackle. Can the Knights turn the ball pressure on once again? Mustangs happy to work it amongst the back line. Running out of real estate on that far sideline. A couple of nice one-touches, though. And quickly the ball's boomeranging up into the other side of the field. Trying for the cross, losing it for a moment. Now the Knights looking for the clear. Is that for her? You Mustangs still with possession here. Got pushed all the way back to the defensive line, but happy to hold on to possession as the field is being tilted just a bit in their direction. Still just 6 minutes into the contest. What an exciting 6 minutes. Mustangs looking to go on the attack again. Good, strong defensive tackle from the Knights this time. Can't find the clear, though, as the Mustangs are right back on the merry-go-round. Knights defender Tom Schroeder stepped up there, made the initial tackle. Mustangs with it on the sideline, far sideline, losing possession, but just a moment as it stays on this side with the throw-in. Good, strong first touches from the Mustangs. Playing with control as we see the dribbling lose control. Knights take over on the set piece. 25 yards into their defensive zone. Put the boots to it. See where it bounces. These are always interesting spots. Obviously can't go for goal from that distance, but you see the Knights had a player running right up to that ball. Little less mustard on that dog, and maybe he gets a chance to run underneath the bouncing ball. What could have been moment. So the Knights are now shifting their attention to what might be as they're looking for the ball pressure. Trying to switch the field. Been on their heels a little bit too much for their liking, I'm sure, in this first 10 minutes. And there's the throw-in going the other way now. Knights finding space initially on the middle, but that space quickly shut down. But that's a great one-touch to keep possession alive. What a through ball. Can he turn the corner? He can, but there's a defender right there cutting off the space. Great recovery defense. Knights getting so close to their first shot on goal, as the pressure's still on. Mustangs searching for the clear now. Knights finding good ball pressure. Another good pass. Another good job of recovering defensively, taking away the open space just in the nick of time. Mustangs getting back on offense here, but just a moment. As now the Knights, defense to offense with some urgency, looking for another through ball, finding it, but the touch goes in the opposite direction. Wanted to play that forward, came up in an awkward spot. Tough break there for the Knights, but piecing things together offensively here over the last few minutes. Starting with the strong ball pressure at the midfield as we see an almost turnover there. Definite turnover just moments later. Knights creating a couple extra chances for themselves. What will it lead to? Possession at the midfield, green space in front. An even run between the two teams is stopped with good individual defense from the Mustangs back line. Switching fields for a moment, but the Knights are right there. A lot of green on the other side for the Mustangs, but the defense right there on the hip side. And the attack is short-lived. Defense to offense with some urgency again, looking for the through ball, but too much mustard on that one. Again, another opportunity for the Knights as they are getting closer and closer. Mustangs started the scoring early, a goal in the first 5 minutes. Knights looking like they're going to answer any minute now. Played 10 minutes now in the first half, 34 minutes left in this first 45. Feeling out process certainly over. Well, I guess with that goal in the first 5 minutes for the Mustangs, you could say it was a short-lived feeling out process. Mustangs came into this one 0-3 on the season and wanted to forget about that early. Couple of nice touches working the ball through the middle, but the Knights cutting off the space quickly, leading to a transition, open space on the near side. They've got numbers, but they don't have the rock. Mustangs will slow down as these two defenses now are showing off over the last 5 to 10 minutes. Strong defensive plays individually and as a team on both sides. So we see one come off the head of a Knights player in a tough spot. Do whatever it takes to get possession. Knights keeping the ball pressure on. Mustangs keeping one defender back always as a last resort pass, as you see here. More than happy to play keep away. So we see a nice one touch after the ball comes up awkwardly. Maybe I should say a nice second touch after the ball comes up awkwardly on the first touch. Here's a long pass for the Knights on the near sideline. Can they run under it? Mustangs get there just a second early. That second was all they needed to clear it out of the danger zone. Mustangs a little flick up the far sideline. Now they have numbers. Now they've got space. Knights shutting the door for a moment. But possession still on this side. And it'll be a throw-in over the sideline. My, oh my, you saw that number 5 jersey for the Knights just explode into the frame there. He shut off that angle very quickly. Another nice solid play defensively from Tom Schroeder. Knights defense beat for a moment, but they get the deflection. Now here's a transition opportunity. They get slowed down just a bit on the awkward touch at the midfield. Now it's into the O-zone, trying to get around one, but another solid tackle on the far sideline. Gotta see the jersey number on that outside backer on the back line. He has made 3-4 just tremendous one-on-one plays as we see a great one-on-one play offensively there. Knights on the high horse and stopping it just in the nick of time. Had one player in the front and another closing the angle on the side. The individual run comes to an end without a shot on goal, but the Mustangs knocking on opportunity's door once again. 30 minutes left in the first half. Long shot. Peace with a big save. A worm burner on the weak side. A beautiful shot. Peace makes a huge save once again. Extension all the way down to that bottom corner. Here's a corner kick, though, again for the Mustangs. Last one they scored on. Knights get to it first. Here's the second effort, though. Oh, they're there to take it away. He was loading up the cannon, and there was no cannonball. There's a cannonball. Peace saves it again. Oh, my. Kill or be killed, and Peace will live to see another day with the score still 1-0. Two tremendous saves in a 3-minute span. Probably less than that. The Knights players, coaches, and fans will steady the beating heart, as that was a moment. More accurately, that was a few moments. The Mustangs, oh so close to making this game 2-0, but it's still a one-goal game. The Knights just one moment away from answering this game and tying it back up. Minutes ago, it seemed like they were just inches away from that moment. Now, well, they've been pushed a little further back. But of course, that's all in perception. They're right there, and the only stat that really matters. 1-0 on the big board. Mustangs scored early, but have been held scoreless since. We see another goal in the late stages of this first half, and will it be a backbreaker? I think either way, if one of these teams is able to grab a goal in the late 28 minutes of the first half, it's really going to change this game going into the halftime period. Mustangs will feel that much better about themselves going up 2-0. The Knights, they'll know they're just right there with a team that they have struggled with over the last few years. If they can get this game back to even at 1. Mustangs go for the long shot outside the box there. They split the uprights. That'll count for 3 tomorrow, but nothing here today. Though I'm sure they're playing college football somewhere out there today. It is Saturday, so Lee Corso's yelling about something, putting on the headset, enjoying his final year calling the games with a legendary broadcaster. Got a potential legendary matchup unfolding in front of us between two teams very familiar with one another. Knights looking for their first win against the Mustangs since 2013. On the far sideline, looking to turn the corner, finding a little bit of space. The Knights are right there to cut it off, though. But all they do is create another corner kick opportunity. They'll take it. Opportunity to man up. Guard the posts. Say a little prayer. Get the job done. That's a good quality corner right there in towards the middle, but the Knights are first to the 50-50 ball. And this time they clear it over the sideline. Possession still here with the Mustangs deep in their offensive zone. Almost 25 minutes left to play in the first half. These two teams have been battling for 20 minutes here on what is a hot and humid day at the Castle. Not very hot temperature-wise, but there is not much breeze out there, and it is a humid Baltimore day for sure. From where we're sitting in the broadcast booth, awesome day for soccer. Out there on the turf where you know it's a few degrees hotter, very important to get the liquids in on the sidelines and in the halftime, as we see a great display of sportsmanship after some of the rough stuff. Two players just getting their legs tangled up together. 50-50 ball. Everybody's got a right to it, and everybody wants it. Whistle goes against the Mustangs and creates an opportunity here for the Knights. Just under 20 yards outside of the box. What's the strategy here for the Knights? Going for goal with a beauty. No one's able to finish on the far post. Oh my goodness. What a missed opportunity. An absolute beauty of a strike. 1, 2, maybe even 3 white jerseys, all thinking they had a chance at it, but realizing afterwards they were just inches away. breaks of the game continue to go the Mustangs' way, as this game will remain a 1-0 game. But certainly not for lack of trying, as we see the Knights forcing the Mustangs into a very tough position. And my goodness, Monroe almost shot a toe off. Trying to clear that ball, a little swing and the miss. Ball goes all the way up the elevator shaft, and that was almost a head scratcher. Mustangs trying to find the space now. Couple of one touches on the give and go, and the Knights find themselves out of position. And that's a slow down foul there. I may say that's a heads up foul, as the Mustangs were developing something towards opening space. Couple of nice one touches on the give and go. Knights certainly not out of position that time. Interception. And Monroe takes it right back on that far sideline, but can't hold on and walk the tightrope. Knights with the throw in. Searching for either the clear or possession. Finding the clear was the best option, as the Mustangs were turning the jets on and trying to apply the ball pressure on their end. The ball pressure from the forwards and midfielders been a big difference maker in getting the Knights back in this game and creating those extra opportunities, though. You look up there on the big board, still no shots on goal for them. Certainly not a stat Coach Fiedler going to be crazy about, but he does understand and see the silver lining in it, I'm sure, that the boys are right there. Not only right there, but really right there, playing their game. Creating these extra opportunities with the ball pressure, keeping the ball in front of them with the midfield and defensive line. The Mustangs have had a few chances offensively over the last 5 minutes or so, but they've all come on these long shots or the set pieces. Not finding the Knights out of position, really, outside of that foul we saw moments ago. And as soon as I said that, a beautiful pass through. And oh my goodness, that was solid defense, but there's nothing you can do against great offense. And that was a beautiful pass and an easy finish for number 2 on the board for the Mustangs. Man, oh man, a blink and you missed it moment. And a huge goal late in the second half has this game feeling a little different. But still a lot of time left in this one. 21 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first half, and then a whole nother 45 after us. Knights need to find some offense and find it quickly. Two teams will take a quick break and we'll be back after this. Carmelo Bello got the goal just minutes ago for the Mustangs. That gave them now a 2-0 lead. So they've got a goal. They had their first goal, in the 3rd minute. And now their second in the 23rd. After what was mostly a 50-50 first half, things now taking a little bit of an extra turn towards the Mustangs, a little extra breathing room, so to speak. But the Knights were right there. So many moments where we thought the Knights were going to score the equalizing goal, only to watch the Mustangs go and take it the other way. Does that second goal on the big board now give the Knights a little extra oomph to find one here in the first 45? Of course, got to find that sweet spot between upping the aggressiveness a bit, but also not finding yourself out of position, leaving yourself vulnerable to the quick strike. As we've seen already, the transition game can be deadly here for this Mustangs team as the ball's played all the way back to Peace. He's able to run into it. Good backspin on that. But it's a boomerang. It heads right back in his direction. Nice little flick up the near sideline from the Knights as they're piecing the passes together. Oh, the heel flick. What a run. Where will it end? Pass in through the middle, did not find the airtime he needed, but what a beautiful run put together by the entire Knights team. 3-4 beautiful passes. It looked like they had the angle caught off more than a few times, but the Mustangs finally making the stop. In a familiar spot, as not only do they make the stop, they quickly get that ball into their offensive zone once again. As the numbers in this game tell a story of one team really, I wouldn't say dominating, but just having a more clear understanding of what they want to get accomplished and getting it done. 2 goals on the big board, of course, 5 shots on goal, and 3 corner kicks. And nothing but zeros for the Knights up there. A tough first 45, but still a manageable game. And the ref wanted to play for advantage, but once that ball played in towards the middle and off a Knights player, the whistle came. So set piece for the Mustangs. 20 yards into their offensive zone, they go short and elect to go for possession. As they establish the pace in this game early and have been more than happy to play keep away with the Knights at more than a few occasions. As we see a couple of nice passes up the far sideline from the Mustangs, but the Knights not getting caught flat-footed. They were right there on the hip side and too much of the hand fighting. Referee says it's going the other way. Good solid defensive stand for the Knights, as that looked like something coming together for the Mustangs. And now a couple of whistles in a row as the referee has a word with the Knights player after that one. Coachable moment. Life's full of them. The game moves on, and so is life. Down, but certainly not out. Body language has been solid here for the Knights post surrendering that second goal. Sometimes a big deflating goal in the late stages of a half when you've been oh so close to an equalizer can really lead to a deflating moment for a team out there. We've seen no such sign of that so far for the Knights, as they're still working hard for it defensively. Making the stop in the dead man's corner right in front of us on this near sideline. Always a tough spot to take over defensively. Whole field is in front of you on the clear, and everyone's set up with a man. Tough to find space for the throw-in. Two teams playing hot potato with the throw-in, as maybe the third time's the charm between the two teams, second time for the Knights. Oh, a little bit of space there, pinballing it up the sideline. Converging on the ball carrier, the Mustangs cutting off the space, and the run ends. And that is a tough break for the Knights. That could have been a blink and you missed it offensive moment, as you see a nice athletic play to get up onto the tippy top of the ladder and flick that ball off the head towards space. And of course, his teammate not expecting him to turn in to an acrobatic act. The breaks of the game continue to go the way of the Mustangs. That one very similar to that beautiful set piece we saw earlier in this first half. 20 yards into the Knights' offensive zone, putting it right there on that far post, but no one able to get to it. Disaster averted for the Mustangs. That one for sure probably should have been the equalizer. Instead, the Mustangs going the other way with space, one-on-one. Peace makes the save with the leg. Not out of the danger zone yet. His teammate bails him out with a little deflection. On the far post, defense is there in position. Again, they make the save with the leg on the back line. What a run. What a moment. But ultimately, what a stand. Peace makes one, and one of his friends makes another. And the game remains 2-0. Right back on the high horse, but Peace says nay-nay as he comes off the line with just seconds to spare. And once again, the Knights players, coaches, and fans take a big sigh of relief. Answering the challenge, keeping this game at a manageable 2-goal deficit. They love to grab one on their end in this final 13 minutes, but they absolutely want to make sure it stays at just 2 goals. Through ball on the far sideline. All the Knights players are waiting for the offsides flag. It wasn't going to come. Luckily for them, that ball didn't hit its target. Kept rolling safely over the sideline. 50-50 ball in the middle. Oh, it's played from the backside of the Mustangs. They get there, but almost found themselves out of position. There was a whole lot of real estate on this near sideline if the Knights could have got that first touchdown right. Knights looking for the touch now to find the clear. Switching fields onto the far sideline, but with possession for only a moment. Oh, nice trickery around one. How about another? Switching fields. Can he get to that? He cannot. Just too much mustard on that dog. And a beautiful individual effort comes up just a little short, but flowers for, I believe, Diego Ventura. No, excuse me, that was Noda. Rensuke Noda with beautiful individual effort, dribbling around 3 or 4 players. Had the right idea, player ready to run underneath that ball on that near sideline. The breaks of the game continue to go the way of the Mustangs. But once again, the Knights getting closer and closer to their first goal of the game. Maybe finding it here. Doing a great job of using the body as a shield. Now they're battling for it. Everyone's got a right to the ball. And the Mustangs win the 50-50. Knights win the 50-50 that time. On to the far sideline. Mustangs looking for space in the middle, finding a little, but cannot find the shooting lane, as that's into the net, but the side. Goal kick. Essex looking at the long field in front of them, trying to find those passing lanes that they've found oh so many times already in this first 45, excuse me. Substitutions checking into the game now for the Knights, and in a moment for the Mustangs as well, as this hot and humid day rolls on. Actually moved the start time up for this one because Mother Nature is calling for a storm later this afternoon. So important for the players to get fluids on the sidelines, and coaches keep going to fresh legs as we see a beautiful move on the far sideline. Here's the pass. Does not find its target. It's deflected out of the danger zone. Oh my, another great long individual run towards the goal. Falls just an inch short. Knights timing the ball perfectly off the head there. Quick defense to offense move. They've got space on the near sideline, but did not see the player streaking up. Oh my. Knights have certainly grabbed some momentum for themselves, as we are now under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Quickly up into their offensive zone. Defense to offense with some urgency. Opportunities starting to pile up. He swept the leg on that one. That'll be a set piece for the Mustangs, just in front of the... Oh, no foul call. Good clean tackle, says the ref. Just went over the sideline. Mustangs had it on the throw-in, but just for a moment. Knights around one. Now around them all with the through ball, but the goalie is off the line with just seconds to spare. Thomas Lancaster hasn't been tested often, but that was his biggest challenge yet, and he read it perfectly. Another beautiful pass there from the Knights, falling an inch short. You can feel it in the air like you're Phil Collins right now, though. The Knights are oh so close to their first goal of the game. And the roof is going to blow off of the castle when they reach it, if they reach it. As we see a nice through ball sniffed out by the D-line. Good 50-50 ball won by the Knights. Looking for space, splitting the D with the pass. Looking to turn the corner. No, they'll put on the brakes. Needing one more. Cannot get through on the nice clean tackle. Oh, they had to split the defense there, but the defense makes the tackle. Mustangs now going on the transition. Oh, they're finding the passing lanes, but not finding the space as the Knights slam the door on the run. Oh my goodness. Blink and you missed it. Opportunities on both sides. The Knights getting closer and closer. The Mustangs, their first real good look at offense in what feels like a good minute. Both teams searching for more offense. I guess the Mustangs searching for more offense. The Knights searching for their first real glimpse of offense. Still no shots on goal here for this Knights team. Coming closer and closer. But what's also coming closer and closer is the halftime whistle. Just 6 minutes and change separating these two teams between now and a much-deserved rest. I'm sure we got two teams looking forward to that rest for two different reasons. Mustangs, at the end of this 6 minutes, will be 45 minutes away from their first win of the season. The Knights want to put this tough first half behind them. Start planning the epic second half comeback that they've got brewing in their back pocket. You got to see the vision first, and the Knights, they can see the comeback trail developing in front of them. They know the plays they have to make, and they're starting to make them, and not just make them, but make them consistently. That run of offense we saw from the Knights minutes ago was a big part of what we saw earlier in the first half when they were so close to the equalizing goal. Good, strong defensive play from the forwards and midfielders, creating turnovers at or near the midfield line, extra possessions, tilting the field back to even and maybe a little bit in their direction. As we see some substitutions check into the game for Coach Fiedler's squad once again. Final 5 minutes of the first half is here. I want to thank you guys for joining us today and hope you can join us all season long. Soccer action off to an exciting start here at the Castle. We have action all year long, and you're home to watch all the home games, whether it's on the turf, on the hardwood, or on the diamond. CCBC Essex Athletics.com, and of course YouTube. Type in CCBC Essex Knights in the search bar. You'll always find us. Mustangs happy to play a little keep away here in the final 4 minutes, seeing what was developing in front of them. But now developing in front of them is an opportunity, and they find it. Oh my goodness, it was a race to the ball, and Peace lost it by a nanosecond. A fingernail, or more accurately, a toenail of a difference between goal number 3. Oh my goodness. Another blink and you missed it moment, but sadly for the Knights, it is for the Mustangs again. Three nothing now on the big board. Let us check the live stats for the official goal scorer. In the 41st minute of the first half, Mohamed Lamine Mansari finishes one off a pass from Kelvin Yanjabi. And you can feel the air sucked out of this place. That is a tough, tough goal to surrender there for the Knights. Another one coming on the heels of a long offensive run where the Knights felt like they were right there, about to break this game open and get their first goal, only to watch the ball quickly go the other way. And they're getting it out of the back of the net. Tough day at the office developing now here for the Knights, as their struggles against Monroe potentially continuing this season. Oh, there's a pass up the near sideline, but that offsides flag comes just in the nick of time for the Knights. Good job of moving as a unit, as a defensive line, using that offsides flag as an extra defender. Knights looking to take the early Christmas present. Oh, no, and they shoot a toe off on the other side with an offsides flag of their own. And that early Christmas present was potentially in the mail on its way to be delivered, only to be flagged down. And then breaks of the game continue to go the way of the Mustangs here in this first 45. Of course, the flip side to that coin is we got another second 45 in front of these two teams as we see a great athletic move, once again by that outside backer. Got to see the jersey number there, 12. Braxton Richards, a sophomore, listed as a forward but playing on the back line, and my goodness, he has made more than a few tremendous tackles. This Mustangs defense giving up some opportunities, some looks, but no goals and no shots on goal. As they are 70 seconds away from a first half shutout. But it does not matter what you do in the first half. It's all about how it ends. And the Knights are saying to themselves right now, well, Monroe scored 3 in the first. We can score 3 in the second. They've certainly shown the signs of being able to do that here today. Can they execute and capitalize? Oh my, they'll need 4 as that one finds the back of the net again. Rolling into a perfect goal-scoring area, and you see the frustration written all over the face of Peace there. Really nothing he could do about that one. He's screened by a few players in front of him just picking up the ball. And then always when someone's that wide open in the box for a one-timer, so to speak, you wonder, how does that happen? Tough day at the office. Running into a buzzsaw. That is this Mustangs team. 4 unanswered goals in the first half. This 41 seconds will tick off here for the Knights, and they will get some water, head to the corners, have a long talk with Coach Fiedler. There'll be a lot he wants to see the team improve on, but I'm sure he will be talking about what he saw from the team that was positive as well, as there was so many great long stretches of positive play for this Knights team. Something to build on as we see the offsides flag putting a stop to that last second run of offense for the Mustangs. Halftime whistle is here. And it's an ugly score on the board for the Knights as it's 4-0 at the end of the first 45, but maybe a potential second half comeback brewing if they can find the right first step. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the castle here at CCBC Essex. The Knights with possession to start the second half, and they are looking for a brand new song and dance here in this second 45. They'd like to just scrap that first 45, throw it in the trash, learn from it, and move on from it. And their chance to do just that has started right here. 4 unanswered goals for the Mustangs to start the contest, and they're looking for a 5th pretty early into this one in the second half. As a long pass rolls all the way into the friendly hands of the goalkeeper piece. A sunny Saturday here at the castle. It is hot and humid, so we had a hydration break in the first half, about halfway through the first half. We will do the same thing here in the second half, so make sure the players get plenty of fluids, as that is a doink off the field goal post. As soon as it touches those yellow goal posts, it's out of play. So it'll be a goal kick here for the Knights as they look to find their footing here in the early stages of the second half, excuse me. Oh, nice steal. And I was about to say an even nicer steal back, as the Knights looked like they were going to take it right back, but the whistle says nay, nay, a little bit too much of the rough stuff. And here is a set piece for the Mustangs in a very interesting spot. About 5-6 yards outside of the box. Knights have a 4-man wall set up. Bruno Ryan taking the kick here for the Mustangs. You know he's going for goal. Piece is ready, so is everyone else. Is Bruno. Here's the kick, and he cannot get it through or over the wall, but he sends a nice head ball over to a teammate that is sniped by a Knights defender. Brian Escobar comes up with a huge tackle in the middle of the box on a through ball that had goal scoring opportunity written all over it. Mustangs looking to get right back on the high horse. Knights, of course, have different ideas, trying to switch possession here at the midfield, coming up with it there. But it's taken right back by the Mustangs. I want to thank you guys for joining us on this Saturday. Hope you can join us next week. We've got more action here at the castle. Double header of soccer on Thursday of next week. Hope you can join us on the broadcast. Really hope you can join us live here in person. Always encourage the fans at home to check out a game at the castle at some point this year. Does not matter what game you come to check out, whether it's on the turf, the diamond, or the hardwood. Always great action here at CCBC Essex. And, of course, our good friends at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square always catering the action. Good action on the field, delicious chicky sandwiches in the stands. Got to come check out a game here at the castle before the season's over. Luckily for you, whole lot of season in front of us. Men's and women's soccer, a few games into the year. This is the 5th game of the year for the Knights. Currently 3-1 coming into this one. Of course, in danger of falling to 3-2 on the year, as we see a nice move around the defender on the near sideline. Centering pass does not find its target initially, but here comes the second effort. Mustangs players, coaches, and fans unhappy with the no call there, as there was a little jersey pulling on that turn of the corner. Referee says it wasn't egregious. Knights out of the danger zone, or it looked like they were out of the danger zone. Mustangs other ideas as they take possession right back at the midfield. 5 minutes into the second half. Starting nice play on the loose ball. It's taken away on the double team, and possession will go with the Knights. Knights put the boots to it, send it all the way onto the other side of the field. Good long clear. Jarring number up there on the big board for the Knights, of course. I should say jarring numbers. Still the big zeros, the trifecta of zeros. 0 goals, 0 shots on goal, 0 corner kicks. Now full 50 minutes of play and no shots on goal for Coach Fiedler's squad here in this tough matchup against the Mustangs. Plenty of times over Coach Fiedler's tenure, the Knights have been a buzzsaw for many of teams, but it seems over the last few years, the Mustangs, a little bit of a buzzsaw for them. Of course, we said back in the first half, the last win against this Mustangs team back in 2013. Last win at home, I should say, against this Mustangs team. It's a mighty long time. That would be the 2013-2014 school year, I'm sure. Mustangs are the first to the 50-50 ball. We see a nice little heel flick and then played with the bottom of the foot for control. See some nice skill on display from the Mustangs midfielders. Switching fields in front of us. Thought about the give and go. Instead, it's a triangle setting up. And the Knights do not get caught flat-footed. Good, solid tackle from Zachary and Whistle. Zachary gives his boys a chance to set up and mark up. First goal of the game came on a corner kick for the Mustangs. They go short here on the corner in the second half, and no one's there to finish on the back post. It's just white jerseys, and they clear it out of the danger zone for a moment. Mustangs looking for the long throw. We had a fight for that ball at the tippy top of the ladder. Both players showing off their timing and athleticism. They could pinballed off both of their heads. Of course, the 50-50 ball, like we've seen so many others here today, won by the Mustangs. Possession on their side. The field starting to tilt a little bit here in the second half, but nothing to show for it as it's still 4-0. Of course, the Mustangs can afford to miss a few with the game looking the way it does. The Knights are the ones that need everything to go their way. There's a nice move as someone touches the turf. Nice pass to follow. Can he turn the corner? He's bumped off the line. Centering pass, and it's a goal! What a beauty of a play for the Knights. Showing off the strength in the weight room as he was bumped off the ball just a little bit, Diego Ventura, but he stayed strong, got right back on it, and the hockey-style centering pass is deflected into the back of the net. It is 4-1 now, and the run finally comes to an end, and all the fans here at the Castle are saying, is there a chance? Maybe. They took the first step. Can they take the second? Let's get the official word on the goal scorer here. So many bodies right there in the middle of the field. Do not know who got the pass from Diego Ventura. We know Ventura got the apple. Who sent it home? Ashton Guidry. The official goal scorer here for the Knights. Ashton wears number 23, sophomore midfielder from Windsor Mill, Maryland. by way of St. Paul's High School. MIAA boy, as the Knights are looking to turn the Jets on once again. Defense to offense with some urgency, but cannot walk the tightrope on the long pass up the far sideline. He had to turn into Wally West. He was fast, but not that fast. Ball pressure from the forwards and midfielders. Going to be crucial here in this final 35 minutes. We've played 10 minutes in the we played 10 minutes in the second 45, and the Knights have struck first. Turning the corner, tackle, and that is going to be a penalty kick. He was right there on the hip side, but the ball was played onto the left foot. You knew that was going to be a tough tackle for the Knights defender coming in, trying to make up the loose or the free space. Zachary Entwistle will get the card and set his goalie up in a very difficult spot. As the Knights took the first step on the comeback trail, they need a little mini miracle here. Peace, has made a couple of tremendous saves already here today. Does he have another crucial one in his back pocket on the penalty kick? Here comes the penalty kick for the Mustangs. Huge moment right in front of us. The stare down, the kick, the save! Oh my goodness! What a moment! He will not be beat on that bottom corner. Another save for Peace. Quickly into the other side. The Knights trying to walk the tightrope on the near sideline this time, but running out of real estate. But my goodness, what a moment in front of us. If the Knights didn't feel good after that first goal, they gotta feel fantastic after that big save. Cannot get ahead of themselves just yet, though. Still more plays to be made. And it starts here with the ball pressure. Can they switch possession? Take another step on the comeback trail. Mustangs still happy to play keep away. Trying to find the space in the middle, finding a little bit of it. Finding a little more, shot, much easier save this time from Peace as he gets down to one knee. And he'll slow things down. Possession wherever they can find it. Crucial here for Coach Fiedler's squad. And oh my, that's a tough one. Tried to play it through the middle. It's quickly turned over, and it's quickly sent back the other way. His defense is right there to bail him out, though just for a moment. See a great display of sportsmanship between the two teams afterwards. Let's play hard. Let's play to the end of the whistle, but let's be friends afterwards. Here's a corner kick, far sideline. Big moment here. A lot of airtime on that one. Everyone's got a right to it. It's pinballing around a few players, and finally the Knights on the third chance get the big clear. Rolls all the way back onto the other side of the field as the Mustangs will look to boomerang it back where it came from, Switch to the far sideline. Substitutions will be checking into the game at the next whistle. And we have an X thrown up by the referee. It's a little early for the hydration break, and we see a player down on the field in the defensive zone, or the offensive zone of the Knights. That is a Mustangs player down with what appears to be some cramping. Not surprising. You knew that was going to happen at some point on this hot and humid day. The hydration break for these two teams just about 10, 12 minutes away. We have new life in this one. The Knights were desperately searching for a new song and dance in this second half. Well, they found the first step. They found a little bit of rhythm. Can somebody come in with a little something else? I'll take this opportunity as we have a little break in the game to just quick flowers to Marcus DiPerderdo. He is the head coach of the Monroe University Mustangs. He was inducted in the NJCAA Coaches Association Hall of Fame last November. Career winning percentage of 81 as we see a beautiful save. They couldn't beat him low, so they tried to go for the top shelf cookie, and he got a mitt on it just in the nick of time. Peace with another big save. Oh my, that was a blink and you missed it moment. But another one developing potentially here on the corner. Near sideline this time. And the Knights leave no doubt on this one. They're first to the 50-50 ball. And they've got a transition opportunity building in front of them. Numbers, space. It's a race to the ball, and Monroe wins it. And they clear it over the line, but that was the sideline, so that will be a throw-in. Or is the referee going to call a little something on some of that rough stuff we saw at the end of the play? He is not. It'll be a throw-in possession for the Knights. Deep in their offensive zone. That was not the transition opportunity that they were hoping for, but my goodness, it did the job. And this will do. Or at least it looked like it would, as they got it away from the Mustangs right there at the entrance of the box, only to give it away. Watch it go the other way, and the referee wants to have a little bit of a talk with both teams. He's pointing at two players on both sides. Wants them to know that whatever they had going on ends right there. Please and thank you. Final 30 minutes of this contest has arrived. And there is an extra air of nervous energy now with this potential comeback developing for the Knights. The coaches and the fans want to see the players take that next step on the comeback trail, really ignite the hope that the fans are sitting on right now. Oh, nice one touch in towards space, but the Mustangs read it beautifully. Shot, and Peace is there to make the save. The fans, I'm sure, saw what we saw throughout that first half. A Knights team that was, for most of that first 45, right there in the middle of the action. Long stretches where they were oh so close to getting the equalizing goal, as we see a beauty of a play, one-on-one on the far sideline, turning the corner, shot, it's saved! Oh my goodness, he got a fingertip on that one. What an individual effort, climbing to the tippy top of the ladder for the head ball to himself, turning the corner, not much of an angle, but making the most of it. Another chance here for the Knights. Late in the game, you don't know how many more they're going to get. A big spot. Under 30 minutes to play, down 3 with a corner kick. Near sideline. Here's the kick, gets good air on it towards the middle, and he gets the head on it, but he splits the uprights. And oh my, that'll count for 3 on Sunday, but nothing here today. A tough break for the Knights as they watched another step on the comeback trail slip between their fingers. A beautiful corner, a great effort on the head ball. Couldn't get it on net. (4-1) is still our score on the big board. Referee called for stoppage on the clock. Thought initially that the trainer was going to come on. He's being sent off the field. So the player that was cramping up a bit for the Knights was able to leave under his own power, though he does have to leave the game and be subbed out, excuse me. Teams just minutes away from that hydration break we were talking about and that we saw in the first half. Two teams looking forward to talking it over with the coaches for two different reasons. Now the Knights, a little extra pep in their step, feeling that the possibility of this second half comeback now very much real. It was a pipe dream, I'll be honest, when we started this second half. We knew it was possible. But with those late 2 goals in the final stages of the first half, really kind of seemed like the Mustangs had maybe done enough to make this thing a formality. Well, not just yet. The Mustangs happy to play keep away here, really just piecing these passes together. Coming up a little short on the triangle play there. And that's a beautiful slide tackle. Now transition the other way. Oh, it's stopped quickly from the Mustang side. Deflection, and the action will slow down for a moment. Quick stops and starts and restarts again and again there as the two teams trading possessions. Both, of course, thinking about putting the transition game to good use here in the late stages of this game. The next goal, a potential huge difference maker. Time certainly not running completely out on the Knights, but certainly not their friend either. Final 25 minutes is here right in front of us, as we see a couple of nice passes from the Mustangs after the throw-in. A deflection on the cross attempt. Return to sender. Turning the corner. Little fake on the shot, creating a little bit of space, but not enough. Now it's going the other way. Don't have numbers or possession, so they'll play for space. And a heads-up play, as the Knights will hold on to possession. Got that ball out of the danger zone, and they were able to hold on to possession. Now trying to find the passes. The passing lane has a long through ball up the far sideline, just a little too far out in front of its target. Another long run from Felipe Oliveira. Felipe doing his best to get to that one as he saw the opportunity to field that one cleanly and turn the corner. Just a little bit too far out in front of its target. These two teams have played 20 minutes in the second half, and it's been a much different 20 minutes than we saw to start the first. Knights looking for the pass up the near sideline, not finding it. Intercepted just in the nick of time. Every just missed opportunity for the Knights feels like a huge sigh of relief for the Mustangs, but then also a huge disappointment for the Knights. Getting closer and closer to taking another step on the comeback trail, but not finding it. Maybe here, looking for the cross after a long run in towards the box, and that's a stonewall tackle. My goodness, what a defensive effort. You shall not pass. Braxton Richards with a Gandalf level stop there. And the Knights have been getting a few more of the breaks in the game to go their way in the second half, but just not enough. As once again, the Mustangs put a stop to the run and send it deep into their offensive zone. Knights put a stop to it, but they've got a long field in front of them to switch. And time running out here. Even if the Knights aren't able to take the necessary final steps on the comeback trail to get this to even and force extra time, I think the way they've played in this second half, huge step forward. Coach Fiedler, gotta love what he's seen from this team. Really just throwing away that first half performance and getting back to their game. Understanding that, yeah, some of those things didn't work out in the first half the way that they should have and normally would, but they were right there through most of that first 45. And yes, there's no moral victories, but there are lessons to be learned from a half like that. This team is not inevitable on some Thanos level. You're right there hanging with your opponent. Just need more of those plays to go your way. And now we're seeing what happens when a few more of those plays go their way. It's a much more even game. The possession numbers have been much more manageable here in the second 45 as we see a beautiful pass find the far post. Centering pass off the post and then hitting the field goal post. It'll be a goal kick. What a beautiful display of offense. The triangle set up once again from one side to the other and then back. Oh my. And the two teams will take that hydration break, and it comes at just the right time for the Knights, as they will take a deep sigh of relief and look to find another step on the comeback trail. Give these fans a little bit more hope that they're going to see something special here. Back to life. Back to reality. It is a 4-1 game on the big board, and the Knights, well, not the day at the office that they were looking for, but the second half has certainly given these players, coaches, and fans a little something to cheer about. 4 unanswered goals in the first 45. And a couple of quick looks at the goal for the Mustangs when we started the second half. And then, well, it's been a whole different game since then. The Knights found their footing, came alive, and have not looked back since then. They got their first goal of the game, grabbed all the momentum, and they are looking, well, I should say they are desperately searching to build on that momentum. Coach Fiedler's squad doing a great job of living in this sweet spot between being aggressive offensively and refusing to get caught flat-footed defensively, not letting anything get over their heads for the most part in this second half, really limiting the chances offensively for this Mustangs team. And that was the recipe that we saw the Knights start to find a few times in the first half, but never really able to put those finishing touches on the runs. If this game continues to go the way it's going and the Mustangs are able to get the win over the Knights in this one, this is going to be one of those games. There's more than a few Knights players thinking about moments where they could have had one or might have been a little closer if it wasn't for something or another, as we see a missed opportunity go by the side of the Mustangs. Another good pass onto that far side of the box. Couple of looks at the goal, but could not get it on net. Men don't break defense there for the Knights. Keeps them in this game. Keeps them searching for that second goal. Can Coach Fiedler's squad, take another step on the comeback trail? Final 20 minutes is here. Time officially running out. Oh, Knights with a couple of nice touches, finding the space, looking to exploit the opening on the far sideline, but what a hustle play from the Mustangs. Looked like number 32, Mohamed Mansari. He was caught out of position there for a moment, but he refused to make it anything more than a moment. Turned the Jets on very quickly. Took a good angle to the ball. Shut down that offensive chance for the Knights. Mustangs walk it up a bit on the goal kick, as once again they are more than happy to play keep away. They established the pace early in this game, and the Knights have struggled to match it. Goal in the first 5 minutes of the contest for the Mustangs. And then another one in the 24th minute. And of course, 2 more after that. 4 unanswered goals in the first half. A mountain of a comeback in front of this Knights team in the second half, but doing their darndest. Refusing to go down quietly. And a rivalry matchup against Monroe, team that has had their number at home here over the last few seasons. Now, if we know that up here in the broadcast booth, you know Coach Fiedler knows that on the field, and I'm sure he talked to the team about that all week long coming into this game, as we see a ball played off the chest of a Mustangs player, a little bit too far out in front, and you can see the frustration written all over that young man's face, as he knew he had a lot of green in front of him if he was able to play that with control and turn the corner towards the goal. What could have been, what might still be. Though the hope starting to sizzle away here on this humid day. You guys at home may have had the best seat in the house for this one, as players are sweating on the field, fans are sweating up here in the stands, and it's a sauna up here in the broadcast booth. But I'm sure you guys got the lovely AC running, watching the game on YouTube. You're home for all of the Knights' home games all season long. Oh my goodness, something developing, but the Knights refusing to go down. They make the last stand like Custer. Cleared over the sideline, and now a couple of substitutions checking in for Monroe. It gives the Knights a chance to set up defensively. Mustangs pinballing the ball around after the whistle, searching for the space, finding all of it as they switch fields successfully. Play in towards the middle on the cross, cleared out of the danger zone, but just for a moment. Oh, he fakes the left-footed volley, gets around one, but cannot get around the second. Knights looking for the clear. Finding the switch instead as there's space on the near sideline, the far sideline. Long through ball. A race. Mustangs have numbers, and they win the race. Final 15 minutes now in front of us. These two teams have played a beautiful 30 minutes of soccer in this second half. It's gone the way of the Knights, but the scoreboard still tells a different story. Knights still hanging around, though, as they make another big tackle. As the Mustangs, moments away from turning the corner and heading towards goal. Their run stopped for a moment. Chance to turn towards goal this time. Around one defender, the second's right there, centering pass, no one's there to finish. And the Knights are able to clear it out of the danger zone. Oh, 50-50 ball won by the Knights. And the back tackle. Good defense from the Mustangs. The hockey-style back check comes in and pokes the ball away. Here's the transition. Knights trying to split. The race. Ventura just a step behind. Ashton Guidry had the goal earlier in this second half for this Knights team. He has been working hard to get an extra possession for this team over the last 2 minutes. Running into a wall repeatedly, so to speak, as this Mustangs defense everywhere all at once. Both teams refusing to go down quietly here in the final minutes. Cries for the Knights players, coaches, and fans will turn to those of desperation soon, as time is really running out on their comeback hopes. They're on life support now, under 15 minutes to play. Oh, tried to go for the fancy move, playing it behind himself to split the defense. And you see the looks of frustration on the Knights players' faces afterwards as they got the change of possession, trying to take advantage of the space on the near sideline, but communication breakdown amongst players. The ball was going one way, its target was going the other. Another race for Ashton. This one easily won by the Mustangs. As we approach the final 10 minutes of play. Knights Knights were able to create a 50-50 ball there as they knocked it away from the Mustangs for a moment, but the Mustangs are the first ones to rally. Time of possession was all over the place in the first half. Mustangs really tilting the field on their side through long stretches of that first 45, but the 50-50 ball, I think, the real kicker. Just too many of those loose balls going the way of the team in the blue jerseys. Some of that is just good, solid defensive positioning. There's no stat for taking a good angle to the ball, but that is huge defense, and every coach in any sport will talk about that. Exactly, taking a good angle towards the ball carrier or the loose ball itself. Cutting off your opponent's chance at the play, just as important as securing the play yourself sometimes. You see in soccer that play exactly sometimes when the ball is rolling towards the sideline or end line, a defender will use the body as a shield to make sure the offensive player just doesn't have a chance to get to it. Let it roll over the end line and take the easy change of possession. When you're younger and you're growing up playing sports, you hear coaches tell you defense is all about effort. Kind of sounds just like coach speak, but it's things like that. Making sure that you're taking good angles towards the ball. Making sure that you're talking as a unit. And both teams have done really everything defensively that you want to see as a coach. The Mustangs have just done a little more of it. Final 10 minutes of play has arrived as the ball rolls peacefully all the way back to the goalie. Plays it out of the danger zone. He's hoping his boys in front of him can find a way out of the defensive zone. And they have for a moment. Now they're making a run towards the goal. Can he turn the corner? He can. He's around one. Left-footed shot right into the hands of the keeper. A heads-up play from Angel Hernandez as he stayed with it, stayed strong through the contact on the initial tackle attempt, and then was not afraid to rip it with the left foot. Tough break there for Hernandez, as that one was a potential goal-scoring opportunity for sure. Whistle on the field will give possession to the Mustangs. Little set piece where they elect to go short. Happy to play pinball. Just move that ball quickly amongst themselves. Time certainly on their side. So is the numbers game on the big board. 4-1, the only numbers that really matter. Though that trifecta of zeros that we saw for the Knights through most of this game has finally been erased. It's ones, and threes up there now. One goal, one corner kick, 3 shots on goal. Looking for a fourth here, though, and almost finding it. Oh, so close. A beautiful centering pass. A laser off the foot, but a fingertip later, the goalie makes the save. Here's a corner kick for the Knights. Coming right in front of us on the near sideline. A last-ditch effort that the referee says, let's do it again. Oh, no, he's taking the corner away. That's offensive. And that is a huge missed opportunity for the Knights. Time was certainly running out already. They needed everything to go their way, but hey, A goal off a corner in the late stages, that's certainly part of everything going your way. Referee had other ideas as he blows the whistle. Too much hand fighting in the box. And it's one of those days at the office for the Knights. A little good, a little more bad. Final 7 minutes has arrived. Mustangs trying a little flick play towards the far sideline, coming up a little short. Now in towards the middle, Peace dives, full extension to the far post, and catches the cannonball cleanly. Those saves are oh so difficult. How many times do you see a goalie get the body on that or the hand on it only to create a rebound opportunity for the other team? Peace with the sure hands. And my, oh my, what would this game look like if it wasn't for the tremendous effort for Jacob Peace in the goal? Number 55 got some stickum on the hands today. He has made more than a few key saves that kept the comeback hopes alive through most of this game. Let's look at the individual stats right now for the Knights keeper today. As we see a nice ball played in towards the middle by the Knights. Can't get to it before the Mustangs. That time they get to it before the Bluecoats. Still desperately searching for that clear. Nine saves total in the game for Jacob Peace. Of course, he's not thinking about the 9 he saved. He's thinking about the 4 that got past him. Though a couple of them really not on him. Remember that first one was just a beautiful head ball. And then another one on a screenshot, so to speak, as we see a nice tackle on the far sideline from Brian Escobar. BDE, Brian Duran Escobar. Freshman backer from Laurel, Maryland, has made a couple of nice defensive stops in the second half. He's part of a handful of players in the second 45 getting a little extra run than they did in the first half. Some players who were not in the starting lineup playing almost the entirety of the second half. Brian Duran Escobar, one of them. As we are now under 5 minutes to play on this Saturday afternoon. Looks like the Monroe Mustangs will be picking up their first win of the year and be handing the Essex Knights their second loss of the year. But what a great launching pad of a step forward for Coach Fiedler's squad. This second half performance, really something to build on here, as they were getting thrown through the buzzsaw in the first half, only to answer with a shutout in the second 45, at least so far through the first 41 minutes. I'm certainly not a betting man, and I doubt any of these fine folks here at the game are either, but if they were, I doubt they'd be putting their money on no goals surrendered in the second half for this Knights team after giving up 4 unanswered in the first half. Coach Fiedler's squad put that tough first half behind them. Came out in the second 45, put their best foot forward. And they've got something to build on here. Still very much in the early stages of this season. Couple of big days of practice in front of this team as they will look to wash out the tough taste of this loss. But it's also a quick turnaround, as it's a couple of days of practice and then they're back here at the Castle for a nightcap with Frederick Community College. That is this Thursday, September 11th. Frederick And Essex will be doing a doubleheader dance that day. Those two programs' women's teams will be going head-to-head in the appetizer, so to speak. And then under the lights here at the Castle, the nightcap. Always fun to watch the action under the lights. It's a beautiful sight, and of course, like I said earlier, always got our good friends at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square here. Awesome action on the field, delicious chicken sandwiches in the stands. Gotta come check out a game here at the Castle. This upcoming Thursday against Frederick is your next chance to do it. As the Knights looking for one last chance at offense, and the angle is cut off oh so quickly. That looked like a moment developing for the Knights, but remember when we talked about earlier the angles that this Mustangs team has taken to the ball. Two players rallying, cutting off the angle perfectly. None shall pass. The opportunity still here and developing, though, for the Knights as they have it on the throw-in. Can't throw it towards space or possession. Mustangs a little one-touch towards space, but it's boomeranged back where it came. And the Knights are looking for one more in the final 90. Hot potato amongst the two teams. Good ball pressure from the midfield. It's taken right back by the Knights, and that's a whistle against Monroe. And this is a set piece for the Knights in a really nice spot. We're well past the point of the comeback as we are just over a minute left in this game, but somebody could put together a nice highlight reel for the coaches at the four-year schools. They're always watching. Everybody wants to get wins, but the reality of playing at this level is everybody wants to get a scholarship as well. A lot of skill on display here today. A lot of skill on display right there as he was bending it in towards the goal, but could not sneak it on the near post. A missed opportunity for the Knights, and it's one of those days at the office. A little good, a little bit more bad. Mustangs 20 seconds away from getting their first victory of the year. Clock just seconds away from hitting triple zeros, and it looks like it can't come at a better time as the night skies are starting to open up here. It was beautiful blue skies through most of this game, and now we're seeing why this game got moved up a few hours. Mother Nature is right around the corner, and, well, I think the Knights are excited about it. She can wash away this one, as it is a loss here to the Monroe Mustangs. Final score 4-1 in this one. The Knights will look to turn it around this upcoming Thursday, September 11th, against Frederick Community College. Please join us live here at the Castle for it, and if you can't, join us live on YouTube, your home for all of the Knights' home games all season long. Aaron Thomas for the final time today saying good afternoon, good evening, and good night.